you're not African, please scroll. If you're African but religion has made you deaf to logic, please scroll as well, because what I'm about to say will not massage your religious ego. It will bruise it instead. It will confront the spell under which you live. Let's get one thing straight. Prayer doesn't change nations. People do. Systems do. Leadership does. Education does. And until we Africans understand that, we'll keep kneeling while the world keep building. Aren't you tired of watching the continent with the most prayer warriors languishing in abject poverty? Aren't you tired of binding imaginary demons while our real enemies, poverty, illiteracy, corruption, and tribalism walk free? My mother lives in a crescent about 600 meters long, and in that 600 meters, there are 3 churches, not a single school, not a clinic, not a drainage system. We are overcharged and underdeveloped. You fast, pray, cast and bind and wait for miracles, while nations that don't even believe in your God are sending rockets to space. America didn't become a superpower by prayers. They built systems, embraced education, invested in science, and created policies. The Middle East didn't become rich through night vigil. They mastered oil, trade, and geopolitics. They invested in infrastructure and innovation. And China? They don't know Jesus. They don't know Muhammad. They know strategy. They know discipline. They know nation.
Having heard this gospel truth from this amazing man, let's go more in detail in this update. This man has said only but the truth. Okay, let's move forward to what is currently going on in Ivory Coast part of Africa, as their puppet president is seeking to be re-elected for the 3rd time. Remember that this man is a puppet. He is serving to the interest of the West. That is why he is seeking to be re-elected for the 3rd time under democratic system of government. A whole lot is going on in Ivory Coast part of Africa, as many leaders are really condemning the action of Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast. Keep on watching to the very end of this video. But before we go more in detail in this update, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notification. Share your own thoughts at the comment section. At this moment, let's go more in detail in this update. Breaking news, breaking news. Former Liberian President George Weah condemns the decision made by Ivory Coast President Ouattara to run for an upcoming election and criticize ECOWAS silence as well. George Weah has strongly condemned what he called an unconstitutional by Ivory Coast President Ouattara, referring to his controversial move for a 3rd term in office as an institutional power grab. Weah also experienced expressed deep disappointment in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, for remaining silent in the face of such action. As long as ECOWAS tolerates unconstitutional acts, it means it will pave the way for live presidency. Military takeover and violence, Weah warned. We cannot denounce military takeover while turning a blind eye to constitutional abuse. He called on ECOWAS to act in the true interest of West African citizens, emphasizing the need for consistent principles and leadership. What is your take, Africans watching from all parts of the world? What is really your take concerning the fact that Ivory Coast president is appointed by France? France has been the issue in Africa. Just look at what is going on in Cameroon part of Africa. And this is another one again happening in Ivory Coast. France, they are desperate in grabbing Africa country that still allow them to take control of their governance. At this moment, France's interest in Ivory Coast is to make sure that Ouattara, who is a puppet, who is working for their own favor, remain in power, just the same way they kept Popea in power for over 43 years. And now they want to repeat that same thing in Ivory Coast. Now, Ivorians, they have been on the streets protesting, calling on the world to come to their aid. And this former president of Liberia, George Weah, has pointed out and called on ECOWAS, shame to you. You are a body to control everything going on in Africa. to serve to the best interest of Africans, but you are keeping quiet under democratic system of government to allow Ouattara to be re-elected for the third time. Under democratic leadership, this man has already extended his hands by calling out ECOWAS to do the needful. Because if you allow this to happen, that is to say, you are indirectly calling on the military to take over in Ivory Coast, because it is better for Ivorians for the military to take over instead of Ouattara to remain in power, because Ouattara has not been of any good use to Ivorians. Yeah, he has not been of the best interest to the people he is serving in Ivory Coast. And ECOWAS, what is the problem? If you guys are really serving to the interest of Africans, why should you allow this injustice to keep on happening? Why should you allow Ouattara to be re-elected for the third time? Why should we even allow him to come out and declare his intention to be re-elected for the third time? And ECOWAS is keeping quiet. Why? Because ECOWAS, they are not serving to the best interest of Africans. They are not. They are just there as a body to be bribed with any token. Because if ECOWAS has not been bribed, why is it that they will allow this man, Ouattara, to be re-elected for the third time? Why is it that they will allow what is going on in Cameroon to keep on happening? AU, are you guys blind? This former president has already did the needful by calling on ECOWAS to act immediately if actually they are serving to the best interest of Africans, if actually they are not indirectly calling on military to take over, because military is the best thing to happen to Ivorians at the moment instead of Ouattara to remain in power. Guys, based on this, let's go deep in what is actually playing out as Africans, both home and abroad, are really reacting to this very post from the former president of Liberia. Guys, keep on watching to the very end of this video. The first comment said, alright guys, in reacting to this news, the first comment said, His Excellency, ex-President George Weah, you are speaking what is right. ECOWAS is so-called organization serving the interests of the Westerners and is a tool for Westerners to use for their interests in Africa. ECOWAS will never change against this, because Ivory Coast president is a puppet to the Westerners, because through him they will achieve what they want in Ivory Coast. Exactly my point. Okay, and down here another commenter wrote, okay, personally I would have preferred a military government that does not exercise authoritarianism or not having respect for human rights. We all know what politicians are for. Okay, another commenter wrote, Honorable Dr. George Weah, he has said only by the truth. God bless you for speaking up for Ivorians. Another said, I am not in support of the Western ideology called democracy in Africa. However, if the people have initially agreed on that, on not sitting president should change it for his favor. In this regard, I'm in support of George Weah, what he has said. Ouattara has no right to go for a third term. Okay, another commenter said, one man in Nigeria won't see this to condemn now, but once military take over power now, they will see him preaching democracy that we are not even practicing in Africa. If you know, you know. Okay, another said, George is right on this one. Though two wrongs cannot make it right, we have to adhere to our own principle. This is why I would conclude that democracy is not for Africa. It can be a trap by its promoters into external slavery again and again. If you don't know that democracy is a tool to make sure they have their way in Africa, and you know what that means. Okay, down here another commenter wrote, I cannot agree more. President Weah, it seems ECOWAS has two-tier system. They are fully aware that Ouattara is France boy. Oh, so they are looking the other way. ECOWAS should advocate for two-term limits across board. France is behind all this happening in many African countries. Again, another commenter wrote, What he is saying is the truth. France is trying to use him for their own selfish interests, and ECOWAS is looking the other way. What is going on, ECOWAS? People are just calling on ECOWAS, do the needful immediately, if actually you are serving to the best interest of Africans. Another route, ECOWAS is just there to serve the interest of colonial masters. Exactly. Okay, down here, another commenter still wrote, that same system of long-term hold on the presidency, why people suffer, has not created anything good in Africa. It has to stop immediately. George Weah has a very strong point. I am just wondering, what is it that President Ouattara has done in Ivory Coast in 2 terms that will make him want to remain in power? Hey, this is selfishness of the highest degree. So guys, as you can see how Africans are reacting to this, as you can see, people are dropping their own humble opinion back to back, asking this man to step down immediately. If we continue to read comments, we might not be able to end this video today. As you can see, people are standing with Ivorians, yeah, back to back, because France just want to remain in power, because they are actually the one in power in Ivory Coast and never Ouattara. They still want to remain in power in Ivory Coast, and it is and also it is really a shocking reality of life. God bless you guys for watching.